Hi there, I'm Adrian.
Hi, I'm Candice.
Hi, I'm Liz.
Welcome to CHM Therapy Services. Welcome to therapy during COVID. This is what it looks like. You're in our houses. You can see cats in the background, pianos, and offices, right? Wherever we're working, the space is secure in that there's no one else listening in. We try and keep it as secure and protected as we can. You have to keep your side protected. So I don't have control over who's listening in on your side. I only have control over who's listening in on my side. So things that can help with that would be using a pair of headphones with a speaker to cut down the noise of what people are hearing us say, but using a noisemaker in the background so that people can't hear outside in another room. They won't be able to overhear what's being said.
Mom and Dad are in there if you want them in there until you're comfortable.
I mean, obviously making sure that you're in a private place, and maybe that's not so obvious, I don't know, as much as you have control over that. So be it your bedroom or another space in the house, and maybe putting a sign on the door.
I have had clients who have done the sessions from their car because they couldn't get anywhere else totally quiet, and so they'll be in their car, and that works too. If you're good with that, it's kind of where you're comfortable, right?
If you think you're going to want to move around the space that you're in, that we can put the camera in a place where I can see you. So if you need a body break, or you want to do some jumping on your trampoline that's in the room or on your bed, that I can see you, you can see me, that it's taking in the space, but I also have to still be able to hear what you're saying.
I think having like little fidgets, so even for me, so I have my toys here, but even things like this, like Play-Doh and plasticine and goop and all that stuff that we normally have in the office, encouraging families to create a little basket that's the little like therapy box that they get to bring to therapy when they're doing their therapy online for all ages, kids, adults, children. Everybody needs something to fiddle with. It seems to help to focus more if you've got something in your hands that's keeping your hands occupied while we're talking. I find I get more focus and more energy. And for teenagers, if you're in your room putting on some music so that mom and dad don't listen in, that can be helpful as well. The other thing that I would recommend is to bring a snack. Like bring yourself a water bottle or a juice and a small snack or something, because it's totally fine to do that.
Sometimes it's out of our control when the internet wants to work and when it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that sometimes we freeze and we can laugh at playing freeze, because this is what happens. And no worries, because if it freezes and we can't get it back, then I'll disconnect and reconnect. And if it's still not working, you know what? That's okay. We can do it by phone. It's no big deal. We just need to be flexible, adaptable, and ready to roll with whatever is coming. And we'll try and make it work the best that we can.
What is the biggest difference with therapy like this?
There's a whole lot less physical cues, so just that feeling of connection is different. And there's also a time delay it's just about a 2-second delay, but for music it makes a big difference. So
right.
Yeah. So when it's just two people talking, it's fairly straightforward. But if there's more voices, it can be just a little bit less natural. And I'm sure there's a positive way to say it.
I was thinking about what you were saying with the time delay. And one thing that I notice in online therapy is that there's not as much pausing in a way. Although there's a time delay, we feel less comfortable with silence.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that I noticed that for some of our clients too. They don't like to just be doing something with nothing coming through the screen.
Like it makes them uncomfortable, you mean?
Yeah, there's a difference to trying to fill the airtime. I think the biggest thing for me that's the difference is, when the kids come in, you're interacting with that game. Like I'm still having to really work at being creative of how the games or how those connection pieces can work so that we can still be talking and getting to what we need to get to. Because even with fidgets, right? And saying, telling the family to make sure that, that there's something that they can play with or draw or,
but I love that idea, Liz, of kind of bringing your stuff now, have a couple of toys and things like that.
I find it really hard because I don't have young children at home. So I've had to run into the office a couple of times to get stuff. And then it's like, well, I can't move my whole freaking office here. I don't have the room.
You see, I have the opposite problem. I
Right.
have young children at home, and so my stuff gets stolen.
Right.
All the time. I was trying to do something the other day, and I was like, wait, I have the book here. And I was like, I'm sorry, it seems to have been misplaced.
It's locked. Another big difference, which is probably worth addressing, is that in-person therapy, you aren't ever looking at yourself unless you're doing mirror work, right? But online, you're constantly looking at yourself. And I've been reading a bit about the dissonance of that. And I know you can change your view and that kind of stuff, but usually you still see yourself somehow.
That's a really good point, because I have a couple teens that have said, well, yeah, I'll connect, but only on phone. I said, you can shut that off. I'm comfortable with that. Absolutely. I said, I don't like looking at myself either, because, then I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking about, oh, that hair, oh, look how gray that is. And, oh, did I get that out of, So it's about normalizing that too, right? That, hey, if you want, you can change the view.
So we do have a rule though for my clients where it says that I have no problems if you want to turn off the video, but then I'm also going to turn off my video, because right. that I think is mine to own, because I feel it's uncomfortable when I know that I'm being watched but I can't see the other person.
Yeah.
So if we're going to turn videos on or videos off, I don't mind, but we're both going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the rule that I hold to as much as I can. Something I find with Zoom that's really interesting, I was just discussing this with someone earlier today. Talking online seems to be more stressful. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to project more, and so I have more dry throat doing sessions like this. They take more mental energy because we don't have all those other cues. So there is that piece where I would say, pack a snack. By all means, get your little snack plate with you and settle in, because we're going to just sit and chat. Sometimes we'll color, we'll read books.
I mean, I do some breath work and that type of thing, but it's primarily verbal, or I use the whiteboard a lot, those are, and then I have one client that I do a lot of music with.
So I often start out by asking them to bring pick three things that are meaningful or very special to them, and that I would do the same. So I'm not asking them anything that I wouldn't do. And then they have a choice if they want to share something with me first, or if they want me to go first. So doing kind of a bit of a scavenger hunt, giving them some things to find, to bring, and have it ready. It's been a lot of talking.
From my end, there's a lot of talking, and I have a little whiteboard here that I will draw. We actually do have whiteboard with Zoom, but I'm not as good at pulling it up and using it in session. I prefer to just flow with the materials that I have with me. Yeah, so we'll read books, we'll do some coloring. Sometimes we'll take the clay and build something. So it's sessions online are very much like the sessions in person for me. It's just that we're not in the same room, but we kind of are. So we try and keep it as normal as possible.
So I just need to let you know, I ask a lot of questions. It doesn't mean that you need to answer the question. I'm just a very, very curious person. That hasn't changed online.
Well, I think it is a bit less natural, but we recognize that that's because of what the situation that we're in, right? So it's not ideal. We will kind of accept that online therapy is not the same as in-person therapy, and it's not ideal, but it's okay, and it'll help us get through, and at least we still have the option to talk and connect. Basically, the message is we're still here, we're still doing therapy, it still looks the way it looked before, it's just a little different in some areas, but otherwise we're here. And
we want this kind of almost like driving in the car. We're just having a chat and we don't have to have eye contact.
So if you are looking forward to getting started with some therapy, this is a great time to be doing that. And we'd love to invite you to come and spend some time with us.
Yeah, let's try it out.
Actually, good point. If you're not sure about this online thing, you're welcome to reach out and just do a 10, 20, 30-minute just check in and see how it feels and try it. We're here and we're doing what we do and we're helping with the same issues, and that part hasn't changed.